Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Tuesday's kind of like a freestyle day for Brian, so I did a full-on. Actually, let's make sure YouTube's doing its thing. Tuesday, hey, it is cool. Yeah, I did like a full-on, like 2-hour rant. Don't know whether the kids appreciate it or not. The good part about it is you watch it back later on. You can put it on 2x speed. I have one of those voices you can watch me at hyperspeed and it's still understandable. Man, I think we covered. It's funny. We went crypto, and then like at an hour into the show, and I'm like, all right, now let's go look at the stock market. Anyway, lots of fun. Kevin's been super supportive of me here doing these shows. Totally appreciate it. What I like right now is, sure hope I can do this on the fly. Can I? Maybe we should put the TRI blog in the social section. But Kevin's got another comment about sector rotation. First 2 week study. I don't know whether, Kevin, we want to update this to the first 1 week per today's conversation about David's research. Nonetheless, clearly one part of the market was outperforming. And I think it would have been best to, follow along that lead. That was good information. And I think we got the Twitter up and running. I don't know whether I have that in here. This is probably still connected to my account, Yeah. So actually we should change that, What is it? TRI PMA? I think that's what it is. So if you're not following this, not a bad idea to follow this feed. Here he is, the Rational Investor. Kevin's kicking ass on this. So he's been tweeting out stuff that we've been doing on the site, and he likes to retweet other tweets that he's seen other members post that he thinks are of value. So that's kind of a cool page. So a couple things for you to check out. I think actually TRI also has like a Facebook page as well. So I should get off my butt and promote that a little bit more too. Anyway. Super stoked at what Sjord has built here. I already started seeing paying dividends, and we just sort of get this thing going. You've heard me talking lots about that bond market information and the risk market, and sure enough, my scenario that I was expecting is playing out here. Also, too, great information, leading indicator information. Don't be too bullish on commodities now. Also had a really cool conversation with the TRIers comparing an oil-rich market like Canada versus a metal-rich commodities market like Australia, and comparing the signaling information. Believe it or not, actually with the dump in gold prices, I'm actually warming back to the metals. And that's the kind of thing with a crazy quack like me is, you take price down hard enough, and I'm actually, maybe I was bearish when prices were super steep. I might actually get compelled enough to actually start taking a serious look if you take prices low enough, because what the hell, I'm here to make money from trading, right? And they always say in this business, right, this is the only business when stuff goes on sale nobody wants to buy. And I'm the type of guy, when stuff goes on sale, that's when I go shopping. And when all of you are clamoring and bidding up and paying ridiculous prices, that's when I'm selling. Anyway, it is what it is. Conversation for you guys. I don't see a heck of a lot of change here in the marketplace right now currently, other than a little bit worried that maybe the bullish enthusiasm that came out of the House passage of the stimulus program down in the States, kind of the whole risk market just lifted on that event. Problem is now it has to go to the Senate, and the Senate in the U.S. now has to debate it for the next couple days. And this rhetoric is going to get really hot. And I get the feeling that to a certain degree, some of the risk markets are kind of like, you know what, maybe we ought to just, cool things down here a bit. US dollar, I think, in that uncertainty, we've left a big old gap there the other day, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have to fill that in. And then really it's just a question of what happens on the other side of this passage of this event. Stocks, we kind of talked about how this was kind of like a supply zone up top here. It actually surprised me that we got rejected as low as we did here, which in a weird sort of way leads me to believe that maybe once that's passed, we're going to get one more blow off top to the upside. And it was fascinating listening to an old boss of mine who runs a prop firm down in Chicago, talking about, first off, with regard to stocks, a lot of chatter in his community right now about a $4,000 call option that they feel as though really needs to be traded to. So in a weird sort of way, you can kind of see how the market's trying to set that up. What I was really interested in of late was the noticeable breakdown in crude. And you can kind of see how we kind of ran into a level here. Market's working its way back up here. But I was fascinating listening to John this morning. He was saying, I'm very interested in the crude oil market right about here. Volume profile. He's a big profile fan. So he said, I'm not interested in here, but I'm very interested here. So I get the feeling like there's a little bit of pullback right now because people are like, oh, here comes the Republicans shitting on this. They call it like filibuster or something like that down in the States. And it's a bit, actually that's a wrong term, but this is a very normal process in bill passage. So we have to get through this, and then it sent on to Biden for signature. Once signed, then I think actually Fed's got the bazooka ammunition. They still don't have the bazooka ammunition. So let's see whether the sellers actually come out a bit more. Like I said, I was a bit surprised to see the way the crude oil acted here. And same sort of vein. On crypto, we had a big jump up there out of the weekend. What I was a little concerned about was this is a V bottom, so here we go ripping back up, and oh boy, here we go down on the other side. I have no idea where the hell the bottom is here. I've got this fun little parabola on this chart. Kind of a speculation. If we hold this parabola, then what does that tell us about the future? So you can see we bottomed. Right now we are asking whether we're going to turn here. If we can turn back up, then okay. And I was listening to guys like Crypto Chico this morning, and he was saying there's a big Coinbase IPO in the works, and kind of feels like that would be a great catalyst. Obviously Wall Street and all the big brokerage houses and stuff, they're going to be all over that shit. And of course it's a crypto related story. So should that Coinbase sort of narrative and risk on still continue, we get the stimmy, everybody's all fucking orgy central again, okay. But Brian, I don't want to see 3 higher lows, so we got 1 low. Is this the second low? It might be. Maybe give me another low, and then we turn back up. Okay, we got something to work with. Right now, we're just in Chop Vegas. That's probably the best way I would describe this. And I was a little concerned that some people are getting insanely bullish right here. It's a nice little trade, don't get me wrong. Beautiful trade. But if you actually look at the lower time frame charts, all the reasons that set up this trade, they're all starting to evaporate now. So, here was a trend continuation trade that's collapsed. So the bulls having a little bit of difficulty here. Never did really get a solid bottom off like things like daily charts here. That was a V bottom. V bottoms like to be tested. And you can see here momentum wise, we were making new highs. Like the whole reason why, all right, fucking A, we're going to head up, right? It's because you had bullish divergences developing. Willie's stupid, all that kind of talk. But now we have bearish divergences. Now we have momentum and RSIs making lower highs and lower lows. You know, this is maybe constructive. Right? We start to see W's form here. We start to see divergences. We start to see the buyers actually coming back. Okay, cool. But that was a V bottom. You know how schizophrenic this market is right now. Somebody's going to say something. All of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. So just be careful. That's about all I can say here. You know, I suppose if this is the floor, right, setting up those 3 lows, probably going to see that level tested. And I'd love to see that, right? So down, up, and then, of course, give me a nice W in here. And all right, we're ready to rock and roll. And this is probably like a reload zone off of that range. 61.8 to 78.6. Trader's best friend. Oh, yeah, look at that. See, I'm getting pretty good at drawing these, So that's ideally what I'd love to see. Here in the short term, V bottom on the poop coins, straight up V top. So I suppose that's encouraging. Some point probably have to test that. Looks like we just made a little A, B, C, D, so that looks like it's pointing down right now. And like I had said there just a moment ago, ironically enough, you know, some of my little gold stocks look just fantastic here. It doesn't make any sense at all. But hey, like the market's supposed to make sense. That's what I find hilarious is when you talk to like economic professors and stuff about trading in the stock market and they're like, oh, yeah, well, you know, you should be able to make... No, that's not the way capitalism works. Capitalism is all about 2 words. Fear and greed. Simple as that. So I was, what was it I was yammering on about? Yeah, little penny gold stocks. I mean, if the gold market is so shitty, why on earth is this thing trading at new highs? What the fuck? What's going on here? And they're trading on the offer. Look at that. They're trying to clean out the offer here. What the hell? So this was one of our VCIMers. I love buying these rolled back stocks when they clean them up. You get this kind of stuff. How do you explain that? I was in there in the summertime touting this thing at like 10 cents, 12 cents, 15 cents. I think I bought some even at 17 cents. Can you believe that? Jesus, those high prices. And here we are, 40.5 cents. Well, that's a pretty nice trade. But here's the kick in the pants. You think it's done? I think this thing's actually just getting started. Look at this chart. That's ridiculous. There's actually some cryptocurrencies that look like this as well that I have been buying and that I've been encouraging the public to buy. Of course, nobody's interested in this shit right now. They'll get all interested when this happens. Oh, okay, now's the time to buy. No. Anyway, so... You know, it's kind of, you're left scratching your head. This one isn't nearly as bullish, but still, he's not breaking down. So if you really were a gold bear, that it's the end of the world of the gold market, why the hell are these things still as firm as they are? And like I said, why the hell is this thing making a new high here? And then we look at, you know, the bigger gold stocks. Remember, they sort of led on the way down, and we were getting kind of, you know, pretty ugly situation there. And actually, I think they're now starting to come into areas that actually look half decent for value. There is the gold stocks. I like to follow Agnico Eagle. Yeah, it's not quite at buy levels, but you can see it's basically come against this hugely important horizontal support and resistance level. You probably find this is a pretty important level going back historically on this stock. I mean, it's not really enough for me to justify a trade. If anything, super cross at all of those public figures, including Warren Buffett, of all people, coming in and saying that this was a good buy here and all these gold stocks. Like, come on. This society is just so... You know, honestly, I actually thought Warren Buffett was a half-decent guy, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's terrible. You should not have let that be put out. But oh well, it is what it is. I suppose if I want to get bullish, I should wait for gap fills and stuff and W's down in here. So, yeah, unfortunately, that thing's not ready. The part of the market that just does not look like that at all right now is the silver market. Still looks relatively good. This guy hasn't even broke down at all yet. And that's the thing with a lot of these little, ironically enough, I don't know whether you're aware, but technically uranium is a metal. So interesting to see uranium stocks starting to perk up. And I think David's uranium stock. We got a TRI SOF meeting tonight, so that should be a lot of fun. Anyway, back to your story. Once upon a time in a land far, far away. Oh boy, look at this. Oh Jesus. You know, there's some people coming out on social media just going fucking apeshit bullish here. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, where are yours? There we are. So, I'd like for these things to be a buy. I'm pleasantly pleased to see that that the little junior names are bucking the overall trend. And, you know, like that jugger, my next double level on that is 43. So you might actually see Brian saying that he's banging out doubles on junior mining stocks in this mess. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. But hey, what the hell? I'll take the money. you wanna give me a double? I'll take it. I'll take it every day of the week. So anyway, I'm not quite sure why these little juniors are as strong as they are, but they're looking pretty good. They certainly don't look bearish, so that leads me to believe. In fact, actually, I might even go buy this. I've been watching this. I might actually strap on this bot. I'm already long this stock from below, but I really like the look of this bot. If we get a nice turn in here, especially on the weekly chart, probably watch this into Friday. Because if this part paints a nice little harami bar for the weekend, oh my goodness. And we get a nice trade up through that on Monday morning, I think I'll definitely go buy that. But, nothing to be done today. Little junior market, kind of like you saw. There's a little bit of a surprise to see some of the little VCIMers perking up, but on balance, most of the mid-cap, small-cap market kind of malaisey, just like the stock market. Imagine a lot of people in the trading world are really scratching their head about crude oil right now. If this is like mass inflation, then this thing should be just skyrocketing higher, and it's not. And as I said, a lot of pro traders are like, damn, I'm really interested in getting in on the short side on this crude. So I thought that was fascinating. That's one reason that would sort of lead me to believe that maybe there's some sort of pivot coming up here in the gold and the bonds. Is stocks are kind of waffly. We're coming up into the 1 year anniversary of that event. Maybe there's one more push up top to mark that 1 year anniversary, right? There is that 1 year anniversary low for the bond market. I don't know whether that's an anniversary or not for the gold, but we said we'd keep an eye on that and see how it develops. But, man, I'm telling you, I'm warming up to actually thinking about buying some of these metals, especially like lithium, cobalt, iridium, all those base metal names. Oh, my goodness, love them to death. So you can see junior market, like a broader perspective, Russell 2000. It's just a big hurry up and do nothing day. And same sort of conversation on crypto. I mean, if you were able to take advantage of that bounce, awesome, way to go. But what I'm worried about, like I said, is on the lower time frame charts, we're starting to get divergences developing in here. This parabolic curve means nothing here. Anything like I showed you there just a moment ago. If I did want to be a buyer, what is that? 44.4 all the way up to 45.7. And I think we talked about that. I seem to remember saying that bottom end of the trading range seems to be somewhere around 45 Gs. Top end of the trading range seems to be about 55 Gs. I kind of like that. That's not a bad way to think about this market state right now. And one low, two lows, three lows, and I can actually start thinking about trend continuation. So go slowly. Don't take no wooden nickels. Try to play from a position of strength. I'll show you an image of position of strength. Which one is it? Actually, I'll show you two stories. Number one, I'll show you a story. Whatever you do right now, do not, quote unquote, trade setups on sites like Trex. Trex right now is an absolutely comically manipulated market. I think the only reason why this happened was the other day I put out a tweet saying I really like this fill. And I get the impression that they were kind of thinking, hey, maybe we can fuck them over and run stops against these lows. And you notice this whole day was just nonsense. It was a non-event day. I've shown you this repeatedly on cryptocurrency. Remember, this is the venture part of cryptocurrency. You can't get much more fucking Wild West cowboy, fuck him over as hard as you can kind of market. This is it. If anything, what we want to do is move to that DeFi space and move away from these centrally controlled exchanges because they're corrupt as hell. Yeah, I said it. That right there, my friends, is graphic evidence of the corruption. The way that I approach trading on these kind of platforms is I have this approach to risk management that seems to have anyway, it doesn't matter. Called the little old lady risk management approach to how you invest in assets and how you manage your sort of what money you got to work with. That would be the type of approach that I would use on a name like this. You're not really trading setups. You're more just sort of taking positions in names at bottom ends of ranges. You can see I've already been a buyer here, so I bought some more. And you're just waiting for the typical venture capital face rip 10x, whatever the hell it's going to be, to let them have some. But make no mistake about it, especially on a site like BitterX, this kind of fuck you kind of price action, this is par for the course on a site like this. Just be aware of that. Should you survive this nonsense, try and, bang out doubles, get those free positions. And then once you're in that free position, who cares what happens after? And that's the way people get stinking rich in this world, is they go and take a relatively small bet. They, whether they sell half on a double or not, I think that's a good idea. And then all of a sudden, the damn asset just goes absolutely insane. And then all of a sudden, oh, now he's Mr. Smarty Pants. Look how rich he is. Well, maybe yes, maybe no. But there was a really good example of a more popular one that I would consider a trading vehicle. Keep in mind, most of these altcoins on here, they are like the definition of shit. And if they're trading on Trex only, talk about a complete shit coin. So I would be very careful trading those kind of names because they're going to be highly, highly manipulated. Investing, nanny nibbles, that's perfectly fine. And then, banging out doubles, dribbles, whatever, totally works. On the more sort of senior names and you want to trade them, that's sort of like the conversations we had about things like Litecoin. Great example. Actually, this is the one that I want to show you. Things like Stake. I took a position in this in Tether. Not bad. This is on Polo. I think Polo's relatively okay now. I would imagine they're pretty susceptible to FU moves too as well. But I don't mind that kind of approach. Although, ironically enough, I do have bids working down here that just never were filled. Jerks. There was... Where was that? Was it? Oh, I was just on it. Where'd it go? Well, let's pop on over to Charlie. Great analogy. If you came in off the bottom, let some go, get that free position established, then who knows where the hell this thing's going to go. Look what happens when people get a hard on for Charlie. Charlie can really turn them on, eh? Look at that. That guy is erect. So, it's that kind of environment that is going to make you rich. I like the idea, of course, spoon feeding into this. I think there are a lot of names that are actually just bumping along the bottom end of their ranges right now, and I fully expect them to go Charlie hard. I don't know whether Charlie's actually gone, full on hard on here yet or not. Tough to say. Here's the way I would look at this: is this actually looks healthy? No, it's not bad. I mean, ideally, you'd like to, trend continuation. I'd like to see 3 higher lows to work with here. But I suppose nice inside bar there. You might join him. And that would be like a trader's trade. Looking at this on a site like Coinbase versus US dollar, definitely not Trex kind of stuff. It's like apples and oranges. So just be aware of that, okay, everybody? That's my public service message for the day. But there was a good example. This thing here, this NEM. Perfect example. Binance, it's a bit more liquid. Pretty good looking W. And even in this case, I was more than happy to get the fuck you. I was okay with that. I was willing to risk against this low. You could really make the argument that all I wanted to do was just buy this W here. Right? It's basically the same trade. Get yourself, in this particular case, nice 2-to-1. I suppose you could have sold half on a double because that's basically the same thinking. If this was the trader leverage trade, sell 2-to-1, stop to break even on remaining, and just let this thing go. Who knows where the hell it's going to go? I got a funny feeling this thing's going a hell of a lot higher. Or, like I said, buy this, sell half on a double, whatever, and now you got a risk-free trade and just let it go. The good part about, the sell half on a double kind of approach that gets your original money back is you can see how many back and forths there were. Could you see another back and forth here? And you go and pick up, actually you could even, just for argument's sake, gee whiz, what a surprise, a reload zone, and my favorite fib level, 78.6, is that last double bottom level. Could you just go in and throw in a bid for a second car off of this trade? Sure, why not? But even if you just left it at that and just said, you know what, I've got my risk-free trade, I'm a leverage trader, stops at break even, and if it does come back, fine, I'll walk away from the rest. Or, I'm nanny nibble, sell half on double. Now, who knows what the hell's going to happen here. And like this one thing, it might go 100x here. I've seen it happen in crypto before. I don't know anything about the fundamental story, so I'm not going to comment on that. But do you see how if you just put yourself in a risk-free position, you got a bunch of free coins, this one trade might make you stinking rich, and it really wasn't that much work. So there you go. Okay, think I'll leave the rant at that. Sure hope you got some value out of it. As I said, we did an extra long session for the site members today. Lots and lots of rants all over the place. Reckon people got their money's worth in edutainment alone. Try and, go slowly in this type of market. We've got this big political unknown right now. Looks like we got a 38.2 pullback on Bitcoin right now. So actually that's pretty normal. But I get the feeling that everybody right now is just waiting on those politicians down south. Right? They got to do their thing. They do their thing and everything's polite, and maybe the Fugazi goes on. If somebody drops the ball, we might have some surprises. So be wary. All right, everybody, have yourselves a great rest of your day. All the best, and bye for now.